show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. Now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Right now, everyone is talking about Keefe D and his arrest for his alleged involvement in Tupac's murder. Even though a lot of people got their stories wrong and thinking that he's the one that pulled the trigger, that's completely false. Keefe D is being charged as the man that conspired everything and allegedly masterminded the hit on Tupac's life and was in the car with the men who was actually involved in taking the hit. Not to mention Orlando Anderson, who is the man suspected of firing the fatal shots into the BMW that occupied Suge Knight and Tupac, is said to be the nephew of Keefe D as well. Now, Keefe D has wrote books and did interviews pretty much telling on himself and others around him about how everything went down and why everything happened, the whole 9 yards. And of course, most people says he is just downright stupid. And I agree. However, there's always a cause and effect, and there's always two sides to every story. While everyone thinks Keefe D lost his mind for moving back to Las Vegas after escaping a murder charge, as well as going on media campaigns doing interviews about Tupac and the whole 9 yards, what people don't mention is that Keefe D was offered a proffer agreement by police back in 2009. A proffer agreement states that a suspect can provide law enforcement with useful information pertaining to a case, even if it means snitching on themselves, but the information cannot be used against the suspect in future criminal proceedings. Which means that although Keefe D had wrote books and said too much during interviews, he still wasn't supposed to be prosecuted for the information that he offered. Once again, these are just one of the many tricks law enforcement use to get what they want out of you and then switch. I don't care what proffer agreement was granted, or even if they tried to give it to me for information, I would have never took it in the first place and would have kept my mouth shut. But now that you got an understanding of what's going on, let's speak on what's been spewing out recently about the ties between Keefe D and P. Diddy. Honestly, I feel this may have been what really led to Keefe D's arrest, and I think his arrest is deeper than what we, are seeing. I think due to his recent interviews where he stated and started bringing up Diddy's name is what may have led him being arrested, because they feared that he would say a little too much. They feared that Keefe D may spill the beans and somehow start opening people's minds and making them realize that if Diddy's tied to Keefe D, and Keefe D is one of the main suspects tied in Tupac's murder, then maybe Diddy is involved in it behind the scenes some way, somehow. Who knows? Whether it's true or not, Diddy having ties to Keefe D is just enough to get people to start wondering. And that alone could be detrimental to Diddy's image, or lack thereof, that he always trying to portray. Keefe D wrote a book called Compton Street Legends that was published in 2019. The book explained the accounts of Tupac and Biggie's murder and Keefe's knowledge on both, as well as his close affiliation with Suge Knight and the crooked cops down in LA. Now, maybe it's just me, but I like to make sense of things, right? I don't care to go off of what everyone goes off, because most people just get caught in media propaganda. Here's what's mind-boggling to me and what I realized. Tupac was killed in 1996. They knew Keefe D was involved because he told them back in 2009. His book was published in 2019 and Keefe D was arrested September 29th, 2023. Now, it's kind of crazy, a little off topic, but did y'all realize how many nines were involved? Right? My fault, y'all, but I usually do that because I pick up on numerology and it's kind of crazy to see how numbers work, but it's a lot of nines. Anyway, if they really wanted to capture Keefe D for the murder, then what took them so long? 2009 to 2019 is a whole 10 years. Then if you want to make it to where 2009 up until 2023 when he was arrested, that's a whole 14 years. So if y'all was really concerned, what took them so long to arrest Keefe D when they been had the same knowledge that they're coming for him now for? You see what I'm saying? Something's not adding up if you ask me. Either that or Keefe D may have mentioned a special someone's name and it rattled feathers, and before he could make any more claims to the public exposing more, they had to get him out of there. Right? Now, I want y'all to watch this clip of Cameron and Mase real quick. You know, with their whole platform that they got going on, call it is what it is. When Mase reacted to Keefe D being arrested for the murder of Tupac, Mase makes a statement that the name Keefe D sounds familiar, quote unquote, but he don't know who it is. Now, for the people that don't understand sarcasm, on social media, they're saying that Mase wasn't being shady because he really seemed like he didn't know who Keefe D was. But if you pay attention to everyone's reaction to Mase's comment, Cameron in particular, then common sense would tell you that Mase knows exactly who Keefe D is for whatever reason he know him for. Check this out.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I'm not playing. Where do I know that name from? Because I'm still kind of lost.
Yeah, you know.
No, for real. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bad boy.
What is he talking about?
He fucking around with his name. I ain't gonna even say his name. That nigga pausing, but yeah, Keefe D definitely trash. Yeah, he definitely told on himself.
What's the story? What's the story? For all jokes aside,
they're literally saying Keefe D killed Tupac. That's what they saying right now.
Oh.
Yeah, he in jail right now, man. I mean, we finally getting justice, man. You know what I'm saying?
I pray Tupac get justice. Whoever is involved, he needs justice. Everybody need their justice.
Pause.
He does. Pause.
I didn't say I want justice.
I don't even mean that in no joking way.
Now, like I said, I speak sarcasm very fluent, and even if you didn't understand the sarcasm, peep the body language. Peep Mase's body language. Peep the guy that makes it seem like an inside joke when he laughs and says, "Oh, you know who Keefe D is." And then especially pay attention to Cameron and the little inside laugh that he does. Clearly, Mase knows who Keefe D is. It seemed like maybe it's an inside thing between them guys. But Keefe D has already admitted that Diddy and them are all affiliated because Diddy used to call him to check in whenever he got to Cali. But once again, this will open a big can of worms because we know that they supposed to have had some big beef between Big and Pac. It was supposed to be so big, but how was it that they made it seem like an East Coast versus West Coast war? But the whole time, Diddy has affiliation and ties with guys from the West that are really close to Suge Knight. You know, it don't make sense. Actually, Suge Knight explained that Keefe D is a childhood friend, and Suge Knight is supposed to be the arch enemy of Diddy. You see how that goes? And all this reminds me of is two things Gene Deal said during one of his interviews when he says that the night Biggie was killed, he told everybody that he was warned not to go out because they're going to get Biggie that night. And Diddy told him, quote, "If you don't want to go, you don't have to go." But they all was going to that party no matter what, pretty much. Right? Now, just tell me, if a security guard, somebody you paying to protect your life or whatever, if they tell you that they got word from the street or if they got a call saying not to go to this party, then why would you still go? You know, a party is not that serious, especially if you know you in territory where you got a lot of beef at. They said he was getting death threats, random calls and stuff. So why would you want to go mingle in a place to where you know it's tension, right? Unless you was forced to go there. Now, the second thing it reminded me of is when Gene Deal says that Diddy said out his own mouth in the height of everything, he said, quote, "I don't care if Tupac gotta die or if Big gotta die." Right? It must have been during like some argument they had or some back and forth, whatever the case may be. Let me ask y'all this. What person you know in their right mind will come out and say something like that about a friend? Right? Somebody they call close, somebody they act like they were so close to. What person would say something like that? Even if you playing, I don't know too much people that will play like that. Will any of y'all friends say that they don't care if y'all gotta die for whatever reason it is? So it's a lot going on when it comes to Keefe D and what y'all like to call conspiracies. But these days you just never know. Right? Now, honestly, I personally think it's a lot deeper than we know, and keep in mind, out of the 4 people involved in Tupac's murder, Keefe D is the only one that's still alive. So if anything was to be exposed from a real credible source, it'll be from him, right? Now, after Keefe D was arrested, Suge Knight made a statement to TMZ concerning Keefe's arrest for Pac's murder, and he would tell TMZ that law enforcement was, quote, barking up the wrong tree, and he denied the rumor of Orlando Anderson actually being the shooter as well. Which is kind of interesting because for the longest while, Orlando Anderson was the prime suspect. Everyone's saying that he was the one that did it. You know, I guess we may never know who was the actual shooter or who was not, or who was involved and who wasn't. Keep in mind that Pac's death has been one big mystery / conspiracy from the start, dating back to him describing how exactly everything would happen in his music, his body not being seen in the casket, down to Tupac giving himself the alias Machiavelli, which stems from an Italian philosopher / author from the late 1400s, early 1500s named Niccolò Machiavelli. He's most famous for faking his own death, and when Tupac took that name, a lot of people started, being a little wary once he passed away. So it's been a running joke that Tupac faked his death, backed by many assumptions, but that may be another claim that we may never be able to confirm, right? Now, before I end the video, let's play devil's advocate here. There was a rumor going around stating that Suge Knight set up Tupac because he was trying to leave death row. And you may have some that believe that to be true because they're wondering how was the car able to be riddled with bullets, but Suge Knight only made it out with a bullet graze and no gunshot wounds, no nothing. Although we will never know what really happened and who had involvement unless someone flat out tells us, Keefe D also had close ties with Suge Knight before Diddy, right? They were childhood friends. So did it come from Diddy or did it come from Suge? Or did Diddy pay Suge off and, and Keefe D to carry it out? Who knows? Once again, none of this is clear-cut true. It's all alleged. It's all hearsay and observation. But I just like putting out key things out there, that I feel are important, instead of just keeping things one-sided and basing our judgment off of one-sided topics. It's unfair. Alright, so y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this, how y'all feel about what Mase said about Keefe D. He really didn't say much, he just act like he didn't know, but the people around him made it kind of sus, as like it was like an inside joke or something. And if Diddy does have close ties with Keefe D or know of Keefe D, then it's a no-brainer that Mase would know Keefe D as well. So, and plus, they went to Cali a lot of times. Mase was around, and he said that he was the muscle for him. So, I'm pretty sure he has to know who Keefe D is, especially if Cameron and them know. Alright, so y'all jump in the comments, let me know how y'all feel about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping, and I'm out.